रुका
क्लास स्टार्ट हो जाएगी ना आपकी, जो बोलना वो सब आएगा।
लिंक भेजना है, पूछ रहा हूँ तो क्लास स्टार्ट हो जाएगी।
अरे तो लोड हो रहा है, फिर लिंक वहाँ पे जाएगी।
क्या करूँ, फोन नहीं करूँ?
करिए।
Yes, children, we were talking about right against exploitation. In this comes Article 23A, trafficking in human beings, and Article 24. Now, all these rights are related to our right against exploitation. Now, the next one is right to freedom of religion. As you know, children, India is a secular state. Article 25 to 28 of the Constitution confer on the people of India the freedom. The next is cultural and educational rights. All groups, sections, and linguistic minorities in the country have been granted the right to safeguard their culture, language, and script. It comes in Article 29 and 30. Then the next point is right to constitutional remedies. Now, what in this constitutional remedies, right to constitutional remedies, what occurs? Which article comes? In right to constitutional remedies, Article 32 comes. Article 32 of the Constitution of India confers upon the citizens the rights to constitutional remedies, which implies that every citizen is entitled to move the Supreme Court and of the High Courts authorized by the parliaments. The next point is right to education. Now, what is this right to education? Now, as you know, that this right to education bill was passed by Indian Parliament on 4th August 2009. It was notified as a law on 26th August 2009 as the Children's Right to Free and Compulsory Education Act. This act also reserved 25% of seats for weaker sections even in private and minority schools. So today, children, I'm going to start with the writs. In the previous class we have done this, but again today I'll repeat it so that if any kind of doubt is there, your doubt gets sorted out. Now, firstly, what do you mean by the word writ? The word writ means, writ is an order which a court of law issues on a citizen's complaint in order to protect his/her rights. Now, if I'm talking about the rights and the topic is writs, so now we should be knowing about the writs. What are the writs and how many writs are there? If I talk about the writs, there are so many writs, but in our concerned syllabus, we are having only 5 writs. The first one is the now one question is there. What is the name? Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto. All these writs in their Latin names have been retained in the Constitution, and therefore they require some explanation to understand. We should be a bit of explanation is needed so that we can understand that what is habeas corpus or mandamus. So initially I would start with habeas corpus. Habeas corpus, it means to have a body. By issuing such a writ, the court can get the body of any person released if it has been unlawfully captured by any person or a group of persons or by the state. This writ is thus a great safeguard for the personal freedom of a citizen. Then the next one is mandamus. It literally means we command. This writ is thus a sort of command from a superior court to a subordinate court or an administrative authority in case they refuse to exercise their jurisdiction and fail to perform their duty. The third one is prohibition. Such a type of writ is an order from a superior court, the Supreme Court or a high court, to an inferior court to stop proceedings in a case which in the opinion of the higher court might be contemplated to be in excess of its jurisdiction. The next one, the fourth one is certiorari. This writ is issued by a superior court to the judicial or quasi-judicial authorities in order to quash its orders or decisions. See children, there is a difference between the prohibition and certiorari, and the difference is that while the former is issued when certain proceedings are still going on, I'm talking about prohibition, and certiorari is issued only when the order has already been passed. Now the next one is quo warranto. Now what is this quo warranto? Such a type of writ is issued by a court to a public servant to inquire into the legality of his holding a public office and to oust him if his claim is not well founded. Thus, the writ prevents an unlawful claimant from holding a superior public office. Now children, the next point which I would like to discuss is PIL. Now what is this PIL? The full form is Public Interest Litigation, that is PIL. Now what is this? Now any person can go to the court against the violation of the fundamental rights of social or public interest. अगर हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स को कोई रोक रहा है सोसाइटी की तरफ से या पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट से रिलेटेड, तो हम लोग कोर्ट में जा सकते हैं. इट इज कॉल्ड PIL. Under PIL, any citizen or a group of citizens can approach the Supreme Court or a High Court for the protection of public interest against a particular law or action of the government. One can write to a judge even on a postcard. The court shall take up the matter if the judge finds it in a large public interest. मान लो कोई इंसान कोर्ट तक नहीं जा सकता है, उसके लिए महंगा पड़ रहा है, तो ऐसी कंडीशन में that person can move to the that person will have to only write a postcard. On a postcard he can send his complaint. एक वो postcard पे अपनी complaint भेज सकता है. Now after that, the other point is, now one child has asked me about the act that is mandamus. Now I would like to tell you something about mandamus. Now what is this mandamus? This mandamus literally means we command. This mandamus literally means we command. Now what is this? This writ is thus a order or a sort of command from a superior court to a subordinate court or an administrative authority in case to refuse their exercise their jurisdiction and fail to perform their duty. इसका मतलब समझो, कोई भी अपर कोर्ट मीन्स हाई कोर्ट या सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपने से लोअर कोर्ट को यह आदेश दे सकता है इफ इट फाइंड्स कि जो काम है वो ढंग से नहीं हो रहा है, या जो लोअर कोर्ट है या कोई डिपार्टमेंट इज नॉट वर्किंग इन ए प्रॉपर मैनर, ये काम बहुत स्लो चल रहा है. सो सच काइंड ऑफ एन ऑर्डर कैन बी रिटन दैट दे शुड perform their duties in a proper manner. So children, this PIL is clear? Yes, give me the response. PIL is clear or not? Now, let's move to fundamental duties. My next point is fundamental duties. Now, originally the Constitution of India did not contain any formal list of duties of the citizens of India, but through the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, according to the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, it was passed in the year 1976. In Part 4A, Article 51A, all the CMS students will be knowing Article 51A. Whenever they go to the auditorium, they get this thing, Article 51A. This chapter enumerates 11 duties. This chapter is consisting of 11 duties of the citizens of India. The 11th fundamental duty, that is Article 51A, was added through the 86th Amendment Act 2002. Now what is this? This is Article 51A of the Constitution of India. It shall be the duty to every citizen of India. The first point is, now what's the first duty? To abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Second point is to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Next point is to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. The next point is to defend the country and render national services when called upon so. Next is to promote harmony and a spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practice derogatory to the dignity of women. The next point is to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Next is to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and have compassion for living creatures. To develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. The next point is to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievements. Now, the next point is, it is the duty of the parents or guardians to make sure that their children between the age of 6 and 14 years get enough opportunities for education. Yes, children, now let's talk about an evaluation of fundamental duties. As you know that the above duties are contained in part 4A of the Constitution, as I have told you just now. It merely defines what the state expects from the citizens in return for the rights embodied in part 3rd of the Constitution. However, some critics doubt whether this inclusion of these duties would serve any useful purpose or not. This is because देखो कुछ हम लोग की ड्यूटीज ऐसी हैं, some of the duties have not been clearly worded. मतलब जो हम लोग की फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज की लिस्ट बनाई गई है उसमें कुछ ड्यूटीज को ढंग से एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया गया है. वर्ड्स लाइक साइंटिफिक टेम्पर एंड ह्यूमैनिज्म कैन बी वेरियसली इंटरप्रेटेड. इनकी मीनिंग्स क्लियर नहीं है, सो ये डाउट बन जाता है कि इसका मतलब क्या है. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ ह्यूमैनिज्म? देयर इज नो कोअर्सिव मशीनरी फॉर द इन्फोर्समेंट ऑफ दीज ड्यूटीज. और ऐसी कोई मशीनरी नहीं है जो इन ड्यूटीज को चेकआउट कर सके. However, hence they say that the chapter on duties will remain a pious hope till some more amendments and additions to part 4A are made. But such a characterization of the fundamental duties is not justified. देखो सबसे पहली चीज कमी क्या है इसमें? Nothing can be got without paying a price. For example, if you go to a shop, then you will have to give money, then only you can get anything. The point is, if we want certain rights, we will have to perform certain duties. Also, every right implies a duty. These duties will make us good and responsible citizens. Secondly, fundamental duties fundamental duties have put the fundamental rights in the right perspective. It has been rightly remarked, fundamental duties complement fundamental rights. Now children, let's move to the questions. Let's move to the short questions. Okay, children, all are ready for the short questions? Janvi, Shubhi, and Charu. You people are ready for the short questions? So, my first short question is, mention two fundamental rights that indicate that India is a secular state. Mention your answer fast. Mention two fundamental rights that indicate that India is a secular state. Yes, children, send the answer for this question. Okay, children, I am telling you the answer for this question. The answer for this question is right to freedom of religion and right to equality. Now the next question. Name the fundamental right aimed at preserving the language, script and culture of the minorities. Send the answer, children, fast. Mention. Name the fundamental right aimed at preserving the language, script and culture of the minorities. Send the answer, children. Yes, the answer is cultural. The first answer was right to freedom of religion and right to equality. Okay, the second question. Now see the second question. The second question is, name the fundamental right aimed at preserving the language, script and culture of the minorities. Okay, Aditi has sent the answer. The correct answer for this question is cultural and educational rights. My question was, name the fundamental right aimed at preserving the language, script and culture of the minorities. And the answer for this question is cultural and educational rights. Now the next question, what is meant by the term writ? The question is, what is meant by the term writ? Okay, the question is, what do you mean by the term writ? Now children, you can type the answer. I am waiting for you to respond. Now children, send me the answer of what do you mean by writ? What is meant by the term writ? Okay, send me the answer for the question, what is meant by the term writ? Okay children, what's the answer for this? Yes, Charu has sent me the answer, a form of written command in... Okay, yes, correct answer, a form of written command. Good Aditi, Charu, answer is correct. And the exact means your answer is correct, but according to my words, writ is an order which a court of law issues on a citizen's complaint in order to protect his/her rights. Now that's the answer. Now let's see the other question. Name the courts which are competent to issue writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Yes, correct answers Shubhi, Janvi, Aditi and Charu. The answer for that question is Supreme Court, High Court and any other courts are authorized by the Parliament. Or in other terms you can say Supreme Court, High Court and other courts authorized by the Parliament are having the right. Now children, see the next question. I think there is some problem My next question is, what is the purpose of the writ of habeas corpus? What is the purpose of the writ of habeas corpus? Now, what's the answer for this? The answer for this question is, the purpose of habeas corpus is to safeguard the personal freedom of a citizen. Now children, let's move to the next question. My next question is, what is the purpose of the writ of mandamus? What is the purpose of the writ of mandamus? Children, send your answer. Okay, children, let me tell you the answer. Aditi has written Supreme Court, High Court. Yes, correct answer. Now, children, let's move to the other question which I have stated. What is the purpose of the writ of mandamus? Send the answer for this question. Okay, so I am telling you the answer for this question. The answer for this question is, the writ of mandamus is a sort of command from a superior court to a subordinate court or an administrative authority. This writ helps to keep a check on the authorities. Okay,